Hello everyone, Helen here. How are you today? I hope you're okay and hope you're going to just enjoy listening to me chatting to you for a bit. Mostly about just all the crafting I've been doing recently, some things that you might have seen before that I'd already started, and a couple of new things that I hadn't started last time I spoke to you. And then at the end, I'm going to take you off on a lovely day out. And if you've popped by just for a nice day out in the English countryside, then feel free to have a look at the timestamps and you'll find out where that starts. But for everybody else who would like to see what I've been up to, I'm going to show you the crafts I've been doing. So, where to start? Let's start with a finished object. I think the only finished one at the moment, and that is the snuggle down cowl that I was making. Here it is, all complete, and I love it. I've put it on, I've tried it on, you can see here, and it is incredibly warm and cosy. I tried it on in two ways. One way just all kind of rooked up like that, and the other way I sort of tried to fold it in half. Either way, it's just going to be really, really warm. And I weighed how much I had left. So I'd had 50 grams of this fluff, this Suri baby alpaca, and silk. This one here was 50 grams to start off with, and I've got 15 grams left. And this beautiful merino Christmas sparkle, it was called, was 100 grams skein, and I've got just under 40 grams left. Or was it 30 grams left? 30 grams left. And those are both purchases from Attic Spin Dye, and I couldn't be more pleased with the effect of holding that double. You can see all the colours, but they're kind of muted and just really very wintry. And I'm looking forward to cold weather for wearing that. It's so lovely. For once in my life, I didn't actually block it, because I usually just block everything, just about everything. And because it did say in the pattern that you could block it to try and straighten out the edges. I quite like those edges curling in at bottom and top. So I'm quite happy with that. It otherwise doesn't feel like it needs blocking in any way. So there we go. That's that finished cowl. Very, very pleased with it. Nothing else is finished, but I am getting on quite well with one of my other Christmas projects, which is this book that I got by Sue Stratford, which came with a kit for making a Christmas wreath. You can see there. And then lots of little animals and decorations to hang on it, but I decided I didn't want to do the wreath, but I am making all of the little things to hang up, and what I decided I would like to do is to make an advent tree. But here are the creatures I have made so far, animals and decorations. Mostly animals, I think, actually. There's penguin and chicken and sheep. There's all sorts of things. And then little gnome. And so there's the odd decoration like a Christmas tree and things. But I'm not going to show you them properly yet, because I'm going to wait until December, when I'll be hanging things on the advent tree. Hopefully that'll get made. And of course, if you've already got one of these kits, you'll know what they all are. It won't be such a surprise. But for those of you who haven't, you'll be able to watch the things being put on the advent tree. So that's those. And so, I should put those down there. So the advent tree that I'm making, I found a free pattern on the Yarnspirations website. And it said it used Lily & Cream yarn, but I couldn't find a colour that I really felt was exactly right. I had a clear idea in my head of what colour I wanted the tree to be, or what colours. I wanted a variegated yarn that would be different shades of green, but not going too light or too dark. So what I found was this yarn called Ferris wheel, and actually I found it on Amazon. I don't often buy wool from Amazon actually, but I spent ages looking on Wool Warehouse and I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for. I thought, oh, I'll have a look on Amazon, and there I found it. So this is what I've done so far. You can see, looks like a gnome's hat at the moment. But obviously you'll stuff that, and well, when it's tall enough, it's not nearly tall enough. It needs to be, probably twice that height, I think. And but I just love the colours. I'm so pleased with the yarn. I think it's a DK, so just a medium weight yarn, and I'm using a 3mm hook, I think. Yeah, a 3mm hook. So it's fairly fine. But you just knit into the back loops or front loops? The back loops of the stitch. And it's all done in single crochet if you use American terms, or double crochet if not. And you just do that. And the one thing I changed from the pattern, I started off following the pattern exactly, where you just do each time you finish going round, you slip stitch to join it, and then so in other words, you're not going in a spiral. But I couldn't quite see the point in that, and so I just started going around in a spiral, and you do an increase row and then two rounds, that are not increased, and just carry on like that until it's the height that you want. So you could make tiny little Christmas trees, or medium-sized ones like that, or really tall ones, which I'm planning. And that when I've made a really tall one, I'll put something weighted inside so it won't fall over too easily. And then my plan is to sew different coloured buttons all over it, that spaced out so that I can hang the little knitted ornaments on it. So I'm enjoying that. It's really nice. So there we go. So that's the advent tree that I'm making. You go down there. And I'm really, really loving doing my tapestry. Thank you to everybody. Here it is. Thank you to everybody who said such encouraging things, or even gave me some tips. So that was really helpful as well. Thank you. I think it definitely would be easier if I had this frame on a stand. I can definitely see that. At the moment I do it with this side kind of propped up on a big fat cushion, but it's still a bit difficult for getting the, doing the needle in and out, and trying to just have one hand on one side and the other hand on the other side. So that's a bit tricky. But there's a couple of things I forgot to say when I was showing you this last time. And one was that my mum told me, when I told her what I was starting here, that my granddad, her dad, used to do loads of tapestry work. And I can't remember ever seeing it before. She thinks she's got one kind of tucked away somewhere, so I'm hoping that she might find it, and then I'll be able to show you. But yeah, that was really lovely to learn that he did that. And the other thing I forgot to tell you was that when I sent for the frame, and I sent for it from Wool Warehouse, when my parcel arrived, there was a big message on it from the post office saying, or Royal Mail should I say, saying there may be something missing from your parcel, because I'd ordered some other things as well. And this frame was missing. It was missing from the parcel. Oh no. And the message on the damaged parcel said, oh, you'll have to, claim for it, go to the website. And I went to the website, and it seemed that I couldn't claim for it because it wasn't me who'd sent it. So I sent an email to Wool Warehouse and explained the situation, and, asked if they possibly could send me another one. And they did. Honestly, they responded immediately. I think it was 2 days after I sent them the email that I got my replacement frame. So I just wanted to do a bit of a mention of them to say how good their customer service was. So thank you to Wool Warehouse. So yes, and I've had lots of time, because we've had lots of nice weather, I've had lots of time sitting out in the garden and quietly working away at that. As I think I said to you last time, I do lose track of time when I'm doing it. So I think, yes, I might have spent longer on it than I really should, but who wants to be in the house doing housework when it's so nice outside? Got to make the most of it. We don't get much really nice weather, so yeah. So that's that one going right. And then that's all the things that I've shown you before. So I've got another project that's in my Christmas in July, come August projects, and that is the gnome. So just got him here. So this is well, this is a very interesting pattern. You might know that I've made lots and lots of gnomes before, but I think I've only really used the Sarah Shearer patterns and not any others. So my lovely friend Margaret gave me this pattern, a page cut out of an old Woman's Weekly magazine. I don't know the date of it actually, I can't find a date anywhere on it. So she gave me this pattern because she saw it and thought of me. And so I made a start on it, and it's very interesting. First of all, you had to knit the arms and stuff them, sew them up ready. And then I had to do the beard. And that took a very long time because you had to add the kind of fringy bits of the beard with individual pieces of yarn. Just had to loop through and add individual bits of yarn. So that was a bit of a very long job. Anyway, so you had to have that ready, and you had to not cast it off and just leave the stitches on a holder. And then you knit the body up, and when you got to a certain point you had to actually join in the arms by picking up stitches from where you'd sewn it up at the top, and then join in the top of the beard, those stitches, and then the other arm. So that was okay. So that was that much of it. You can see, so his arms are hanging down here, and you can see his beard here. And then the next thing you had to do was just to change to flesh colour, although I'm not really sure why, because it can't be seen at all in the pattern. And I knitted so far up, and I thought, I can't bear the thought of having a pointy head, basically. I thought that was going to look really horrible. So I just knitted a little bit, and then I changed to green, even though the hat is separate and you put it on, and there's a nose to sew on here as well that I've made as well. But oh my goodness, then I came to doing the hat, which looks like a Christmas tree. And this is as far as I've got. So this is it so far. And I'm just finding it impossible to understand. I don't think this is right. I mean, it might be right. I might have picked up. Basically, you start with, you just do one of the pointy bits, and then you just keep adding a pointy bit along the way. But you end up with just one stitch on your needle, and then you have to pick up from the edge of the non-pointy bit, and then do a couple of rows and then start doing the pointy bits again. Well, first of all, I'm not sure if I've picked up or gone the right direction for the second row of pointy bits, and I've got no idea how to do the next bit. I just didn't understand it at all, and I sent a photo of the pattern to my mum, and she didn't understand it at all either. But the other thing that's bothering me is that it is way too wide for a hat. So if that gets joined up like that, the bottom of the hat is far too wide for the width of the where the hat will sit on the gnome. And I looked at the pattern, and that place has 64 stitches, and this has 64 stitches, so I've got no idea why that is so wide. So I'm a bit, I'm not sure about that. I might find a pattern for a different hat, because I just cannot work it out. If anybody watching it has happened to have done that Woman's Weekly gnome pattern, please let me know and help me. I just can't work it out. Anyway, so that's the gnome, which, well, he will get finished, because if nothing else, I'll do him a different hat. But Anyway, the final thing I'm going to show you today is not a Christmassy project. It's another, well, it's from my probably favourite knitting book. I think we should safely say that Moosh and Friends is my favourite knitting book. And so it's another friend, and here he or she is. I'm not sure whether it's a girl or a boy. And yes, it's the sheep. I have already made the sheep, but I decided I wanted to make a sheep because I had some yarn. Well, I had 2 balls of yarn. One that I bought ages ago when I went to Perth to the yarn show there, of North Ronaldsay yarn from the North Ronaldsay sheep that eat seaweed, which I've mentioned before. But I also had been gifted a ball of North Ronaldsay yarn by some lovely friends who know how much I love Orkney. And so I am using both of those to make this sheep here. There's not a huge contrast in the colour, I realise, but I decided to use the beigey colour for the face and ears, and you can see I've done one of the arms, and the hands and feet, and then the rest is this greyish colour, because I had a look at a picture of North Ronaldsay sheep, and well, they don't all seem to be the same colour, but yeah, some had a greyish coat. So there we go. So I'm using, obviously you can see it's, well, if you know the Moosh and Friends and you've seen my other ones, this sheep is much bigger. I seem to be having a phase of making bigger animals at the moment, which is lovely. Although obviously they take up more space in the craft room and in the camper van when they come with us. Anyway, and so I'm using 4.5mm needles, but I'm feeling maybe I should have actually used slightly thinner. When I used 3.5 before with this, it seemed a bit tight, so perhaps 4mm is the best. But it's fine, I'm not going to start it again, and when I do the stuffing, I'll just be really extra careful not to stretch the fabric so that the stuffing shows through. But yes, so there we go. One arm so far, and so I'll report back on how she gets on. Oh, called a she, maybe you are a she. Oh well, we'll see. Okay then, so I think that's all of my projects. So I think I'm going to stop talking very soon and take you on a lovely day out that Phil and I had. So sometimes we actually use the camper van just to go for a day out. And the main reason for that is that we have tea making facilities on board and we have a fridge. And so we can kind of, we can take advantage of that really. And it also means we've got somewhere comfy and cosy to shelter in if the weather's not so good. However, we went, it was an absolutely beautiful day, and I really thought, originally I wasn't going to make a video about it, but we were travelling along, going north to Northumbrian, and I said, oh, it's such a lovely day, maybe I should take all my friends with me on this trip. So all I've done is put together the different things that we did, which was we went to a tea room, and then we went to a castle that we'd never been to before called Chipchase Castle, and it's still privately owned, so it's not open very much. It's only open, I don't know, I think about 3 or 4 weeks of the year, and the day that we went was the last day it was going to be open this year. But because it's privately owned, you have to be taken around on a tour, which was excellent. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go to Chipchase Castle, the tour was really interesting. But they didn't allow photography, so I can't show you anything of the inside of the castle. But it was just lovely. We were allowed to wander around the grounds, and it was really nice. I hope you're going to enjoy that. And then we ended the day with just sitting by a river, and it was just so nice. So I hope you're going to enjoy coming along with us. Right then, well, that's where I'm going to finish for this week. And I will see you very soon. I think next week's might be another camper van video, possibly. I think that'll be ready in time. But until I see you again, keep nice and busy. Take great care of yourself. And I'll see you soon. Okay then. Bye.